All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a new package that just came in the mail. Let's get it opened up and see what it is. Cool little knife I have here. It's a Civivi cleaver style Damascus knife. Cool little knife. Anyway, just wanted to show you what I have here. It's a cheap little drop-in trigger. I don't know if you guys have seen these advertised. You can usually find these for around the $50 price point. I wanted to kind of see if these were worth the $50 price mark, because if you guys know anything about these drop-in triggers, these are usually around like the $90 at the minimum price point for like the absolute cheapest bottom of the barrel ones. So $50 seems unbelievable. For what it's worth, looking at it, guys, it is flimsy material. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks nice. It's very shiny, but it is a very flimsy material. Okay, so here we go. We need to get this old trigger assembly group out of here. You guys know how to do this, right? First things first, pop this pin out. We need to get this hammer out. Obviously, it's under some spring tension here, so be careful. Pull it out. Let's get that going here. Next thing is we need to get this, this trigger pack or, trigger group out. This disconnector is going to have some spring tension. Get that out, and then the trigger and that part will come out. Next thing is we need to loosen this grip here. Go ahead and loosen that from the bottom, and then I don't take this off necessarily yet, but this should allow you to get the safety to come out. And then from there, we should be able to go ahead and drop in the trigger pack. It says it's a drop-in trigger. Let's go ahead and drop it in. Well, it certainly does drop right in. Let's go ahead and get the pins back in, and let's see what happens. First pin goes in pretty much like I would expect, no problems. Second pin. And it was at this exact moment where I realized why this thing cost $49.99. So this rear pin will not match up. It's not matching up. It's the strangest thing. So I try it from this side. I try it from that side. I try it with the front pin out. I try it with the front pin in. I try it with the hammer released. I try it, I straighten it out. I try centering it a little bit. I eventually do go off camera, and I am able to force the pins in off camera, which I should not have done because I see I slightly, egged out my holes just a little bit. But when I did that, guys, this thing had an inconsistent trigger pull. Like here, I've got it in. It's installed. When I measured this later, this thing was all over the place. It was a 8-pound trigger pull. It was a 5-pound trigger pull. It was a 3-pound trigger pull. It was an 8-pound trigger pull. It was like not consistent at all. I had to take the thing back out. The way to fix this, for what it's worth, is you have to remove this thing back out of here, and you have to slightly drill out that rear trigger pin hole on that trigger pack. You have to open it up just a little bit, relieve that hole, and this thing fits in there perfectly. Now, should we have to do that? No. We shouldn't have to do that. This is a trigger pack. You buy it from the store. It says easily installs, drops in minutes. You shouldn't have to do any modification, okay? But for what it's worth, I'm just telling you guys, if you go out there and you buy this thing, expect to have to do a little bit of modification on this thing. You might have to open up that rear trigger pin hole. Now, on the video here so far, I have not done that. I have forced the trigger pin through, and this thing is very tight. It's very chunky. It doesn't work very well. It works, but it's not working very well. I'm going to do a little bit of a close-up here and show you what I mean. This front trigger pin, it sits in there perfectly. It's perfectly centered, no issues, okay? The rear trigger pin, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it is jammed all the way to the rear of the hole. See, you can see like a shadow to the front of that trigger pin. So long story short, it actually did egg my holes a little bit out on the trigger pin holes. I'm not super happy with that. I can see why they included these anti-walk pins with it. So anyway, here it is with the trigger pack installed. This is with that rear trigger pin drilled out. I shouldn't have to do that, guys. I know I shouldn't have to do that. For what it's worth, though, it actually does have a nice crisp, nice consistent 3.5-pound pull now. Let's check to make sure this rifle is empty. It is empty, as you can see, and let's see how it does here. It is a nice, light, crisp trigger pull. Again, guys, I shouldn't have to drill out that rear trigger. For $49, it doesn't matter if it's $49. It's a drop-in trigger. I shouldn't have to do that. But for what it's worth, after all that work, this thing actually does reset quite nicely. I don't know, guys. If I were to give this thing a thumbs up or thumbs down, I think I'm giving this thing a thumbs down. I don't think I can stand behind giving this thing any kind of recommendation. So at any rate, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Just wanted to share with you my experience. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one.